interlinking them together, one, helping with the current platform of preventing sexual assault, but two, also representing their issues. For example, at the SSDP, back to the smoking ban, they came to me and said, hey, listen, okay, this is how we can get you involved. Representing ethnic diversity, they came to me and said, hey, how do we get started? And I said, well, this is what you have to do. I'm also a charter member, like I said, of the Professional Business Ethics Club, and we've been keeping in contact with them to restore ethics code within the B&E College. So, no, we are not just coming out here during campaigning. I'm also very active, if many of you heard of Drop a Call Protect, and we are almost everywhere on campus. The only reason you might not hear my name all the time is because I like to give credits to the people that work with these committees. You know, I have the spotlight enough. It is time to share the credit and let them build themselves as leaders and let them inspire others to do the same. Sometimes humility is the best answer. And I mean, people say honesty, no. Humility is always the best response. In this way, it's counterintuitive. Sometimes student government needs to step back and let other leaders step forward so that new leaders can develop, new leaders can transition, and new leaders can lead their constituency groups to better representation, and that's how we as an administration will function. So yes, we are out there, but we won't take the credit for it. We'll give the credit to you.
Well, first off, Ian and I have two very concrete goals for being more visible after we are elected. First off, we'd like to hold a Student Appreciation Day after we're elected, very much like what you guys are going through now when you walk through the layer, you know, and get little pamphlets or candy or stuff like that. But instead of saying, vote for me, we're going to say, thank you for electing us. Now, how can I serve you? What can I do for you? What are the issues that you want to hear? So we're going to raise those issues. We're going to go to the students. Ian talked about his knuckles being bruised. We're running our campaign exactly like we want to run our administration. We're not waiting for people to come to us to walk through the mountain layer, to walk outside. We're going to doors. We're going to PRT stations. We're going to the Coliseum, the CAC, the HSC, engineering. We're going to the students. If they have a transportation issue, we'll be at the bus stops. And if they have a dorm issue, we'll be in Summit. So we will be there for them, and we will listen to everything that they have to say to us and make a note of it and bring it to the SGA meeting, because not enough students speak up during Open Student Forum.
This is plain and simple. Check mine and Ron's record. Ask anybody we've talked to, anybody we've worked with, if we've been around. Ask the people that they've supposed to have been working with if they've seen them around the past year. I started this Sunnyside Neighborhood Association. I've knocked on the doors. I've went and talked to those people. I said, what are your issues here in Sunnyside, and how can we help you with that? We need to take a better sense of community here. Just check the record. Been there, done that.
This question is for the Mountaineer Choice. If you had to choose one issue concerning students' rights toward which to devote your time and efforts, which issue would that be and why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
If you had to choose one issue concerning students' rights toward which to devote your time and efforts, which issue would that be and why?
So you're asking what do I feel the most important issue to students is?
Right. Yes.
I think the most important issue to students is keeping college costs low. You know, we've talked a lot about we're in an economy that can't afford to be spending any more money. You know, we need as college students, we need to be tightening our financial belts. And I want to make sure that as your representative on Board of Governors, I want to make sure that the governor's call for tuition freeze becomes a reality. And I want to make sure that college costs stay low or even get lower. You know, our economy is not in a good spot right now. And we as student leaders need to make sure that our students have affordable an affordable tuition. And we need to make sure that coming to college is a feasible opportunity for all of our students. And that's the most important thing that I feel like is representing students and making sure that college costs stay low.
All right. Absolutely, keeping college costs low. I've actually fought for keeping college costs low. Last year, the beginning of my chief of staff term, I raised the issue of the rising textbook costs. and ways to keep these textbook costs down. I've talked to David Lang in the bookstore quite a few times, saying how we could work with this issue, how the teachers could adopt the textbooks earlier. Also, I've lobbied at the legislature against the promise cap and for tuition freeze.
With that being said, opportunity is the thing that is most important to us. And opportunity includes keeping costs low. Because, you know, these opportunities not only affect us, but they also affect future students. And we want to make sure that every future student has the same opportunities, if not more opportunities, than we do. And, you know, part of this can be established through a program. I believe NSCS, they do a 5th grader to this university program. In many ways, we can do the same way to educate people on, oh, this is when you need to start saving. When they're in primary school, get them thinking about college and how to save up for it.
Now, we talked a lot about keeping college costs low. I want to talk about representing students on all issues that are that are vital to them. In this election, it's important to realize that your one student representative on your institutional board of governors is your president. It's not Molly or Ron, it's Chris or I. And you need to have a strong and passionate leader, and someone who's not going to be intimidated, and someone who's going to be able to speak up on your behalf. And that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be that passionate leader. And I'm going to be the one that says, listen, college costs are getting too high, or we need to do something about our transportation on this campus. And I'm going to speak on behalf of students, and that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be your passionate leader.
Okay, this is one of the last 2 questions. This is for the Pirate Party. In the past, SGA has had issues unifying a mixed ticket. Obviously, not every candidate will get on from each party. How do you plan on working together and making this happen?
Well, first and foremost, last year we had a split ticket. There was a few from each ticket, and unfortunately, we weren't able to have a spring retreat last year. I think the spring retreat, you know, helps people start to meet each other, work together, because it is a very high-intensity campaign against one another, and you start to tempers flare, and you're campaigning against someone, and you develop feelings towards them of hate for some reason. We also go ahead, you messed me up, Ring.
And when we mention spring retreat, understand we're not going to compromise on being fiscally responsible. Because yes, we will keep the spring retreat low, and in many ways encourage the governors to work with each other and pool their resources together in order to force them to work together. Accountability is going to be a huge issue once the 2 tickets perhaps may merge. And when that happens, remember, you're not held accountable to me. I don't even really care if you respect me. But you will need to respect the student body which you represent, and in that way, you will be forced to work with me. And no matter our differences, no matter our disagreements, I'm going to extend my hand to you and work with you, because our platforms together is what will progress the student body towards the future.
And really quickly, plain and simply, these student issues are too important to fight over. We can't be drawing lines. We got to reach across the aisles and shake the hands and make a compromise on this. It's just too big of an issue to let anything get in the way of.
Absolutely. Well, I had the pleasure this year of serving on a mixed board, and as I said, the spring retreat is a very important part. But more than that, it's important to be able to work together. I think that when we're sitting in the office back there, and one governor's sitting there, instead of Facebooking, why can't I look at Allie Moles, who's working on advising, and I'm working on international students, and say, hey, maybe we could work on international advising together. Pull each other together, have teamwork activities where you can work together to create something that encompasses everyone's platform. So that's just what I would say on that.
I think an important part of being an effective student government is team building. Part of the problem that I see with some members of our current board is that they're very isolated and they're on their own island. When I was on Board of Governors, we had a very strong sense of team. And part of that was that we ran unopposed. But the other part was that we had a very, very strong vice president candidate who made sure that we all worked as a team. A lot of people want to say that I didn't accomplish a whole lot of things, but more importantly, I worked so hard for other governors, and I worked as a team, and that's what we really want to accomplish.
I'm very proud to say that we have both